Tonight, we're taking a break from the chest hair infusing proof punchers. We're cooling things off a little bit with a sweet matchup between two weeded warriors. The sophisticated and refined Elmer T. a bourbon steeped in history, and the Grand Gang Delight 1792 Sweet Wheat, the candy shop of the bourbon world. So which one will earn a spot into the next round? You're gonna have to stick around to find out. It's the Cynple Whiskey Show. Happy holidays and welcome back to the 12 Days of Whiskey. I'm Cyncere, and tonight we're continuing day 6 of our journey to crown the ultimate pour of 2024. We're getting ready for a face-off that's cooler than the other side of the pillow. 1792 Sweet Wheat taking on the unicorn classic Elmer T. Before we kick things off, if you like the content, don't forget to like, subscribe, turn on your notification bells to stay up to date on all things Cynple Whiskey. As we get closer to that 1,000 subscriber milestone, I'm thinking of what I'm going to do as far as the giveaway, so leave me some ideas down in the comments. Without your support, there is no Cynple Whiskey Show. Now let's jump into the bottles facing off tonight. First up, we have Elmer T. from the Buffalo Trace Distillery. This hard-to-hunt bourbon is bottled at 90 proof with an MSRP of just $40, but the chances of snagging that at that price are slim to none. With notes of fresh baked bread, cream soda, and soft oak, it's a gentle and refined pour that's perfect for those who appreciate subtlety as well as finesse. But will that refinement be enough to beat out tonight's challenger? We shall see. (1792) Sweet Wheat from Barton 1792 Distillery. This wheated wonderland in a bottle is bottled at 91.2 proof, also comes in at around $40 MSRP, making it a direct competitor of Elmer T. at least if you can find it at MSRP. This bottle is super sweet, very approachable, and brings flavors of candied nuts, vanilla, sugar cookies, and custard pudding to the table. Let's see how it performs in tonight's showdown. Let's get to sipping. All right, let's go in for the nose. Elmer T. This reminds me of when we were staying in Bardstown and you could smell the yeast in the air from the close by distilleries, as well as a bakery that was up the street too. But the smell of that yeast was very bready, and that's what I get on this at the initial nose. I also get a little bit of maybe coconut, a little bit of, I think it's like a vanilla note as well, and then a little bit of spice, like cinnamony. All right, 1792. Super light brown. I like the look of this. Oh, wow. Totally different vibes on this one. This one up front comes across a little more spicy. I get a little bit of a oaky note on it, maybe even some baking spice, caramel, and then on the end, even a little bit of a floral note peeking through. Very balanced, a little bit deeper than what I got on the Elmer T. but the proof is in the palate. And for the first time, I'm not afraid that it's going to be overly spicy. I think both of these come in close to 90 proof. Looking forward to giving my palate a little bit of a break. Okay, that's light. Almost delicate to the sip. There's even a touch of like a strawberry shortcake or something. Very strawberry note, very sweet note, almost like a pound cake. So yeah, this is really good. A little bit better than I remember. I remember the first time I had this, I wasn't blown away by it. I did pay MSRP for it, so I wasn't overly concerned. But at the same token, I was a little underwhelmed by it the first time. And maybe my palate has evolved, but I have a new appreciation for this that I definitely didn't have coming into tonight. Let's try 1792. All right, Sweet Wheat comes out bringing a baked dessert note, but this is more of a, almost like a cinnamon roll, but if you put some sort of pecans or nuts on top of it. This comes across immediately sweet, like a dessert at first, but I get something nutty on the back end of that as I go through the mid palate as well as on the finish. I got a lot of the caramel and the vanilla up front on it, but again, that that nutty note shines through as the most prevalent flavor throughout the entire sip. I can see where the mention of sugar cookies even come into play. A couple of the reviews I read on this one a while back were mentioning hints or notes of sugar cookies, but it's definitely something that's a baked dessert of some sort. Sugar cookies, not so much for me, but some sort of even a glazed donut with pecans or some sort of nut on it. That's like the blend of the flavors that I get on this one. It's actually really good. It's a light leathery note that rounds it out the more I sit and chew on just even the finish. But at the end of the day, only one can win, and which one is that gonna be? Which bottle is going on to the next round? 1792 Sweet Wheat. While Elmer T is refined and elegant, the dessert-like qualities that I got out of this were a little more prominent, barely pushing it over the edge tonight to declare 1792 Sweet Wheat the winner. That said, if you're a fan of subtlety and layered finesse, Elmer T is still a great pour, even more so now that I've had it a second time than when I first tasted it. Now let's see how they open up once we mix and mingle a little bit. Like a glazed orange peel. Not sure where that came from, but definitely get some sweeter note, like a vanilla frosting, or even like a homemade frosting, but it's also a stronger orange note, but a little more of a punch, like a rind or a peel. So a vanilla covered orange peel is what I get on the nose on this one. Let's go in for a sip. This one should be bottled up and sold as is, with these two just equal parts mixed. I'm not sure it was quite equal parts, but man, it's like a super burst of peach or something, some sort of a brighter fruit immediately on the palate, and then it just goes into a dessert, almost like a peach cobbler with ice cream on the mid palate and the finish. But that punch of fruit at the beginning caught me so off guard, but gotta take a second sip. I am going to enjoy finishing this one off tonight. New recipe, check it out on the website. No, I'm kidding, I don't have a website. But definitely a good pour. By far one of the better blends that I've had during the 12 days of whiskey. All right, that wraps up day 6 of the 12 days of whiskey with 1792 Sweet Wheat moving forward. The Elite 8 is only missing 2 more pours. So we still got plenty of matchups to go. And if you've enjoyed this face-off, don't forget to go back through the other 5 days of whiskey that we've got done so far and see just how some of these other ones are gonna make it to the next round. And I'll leave you with this. Whiskey reminds us that sometimes sweetness wins the day, whether it's in the pours you sip on or it's how you treat other people in your everyday life. So here's to good whiskey, treating others even sweeter than you'd expect to be treated, and keeping it simple. Cheers.